Grand rising, blessings, all praises be to the Most High Yah for giving us another blessed day to be here. We're blessed and we're thankful that we are here because we can look and see obviously that things are changing so rapidly that it is a blessing that we are here in any and every shape and capacity that you could be. All praises, blessings be to you for being here and still being in your mind with all the stuff that's going on. Um, I'm doing this video on my laptop as opposed to my phone. I had a comment that I'm not loud enough. I'm sorry, I don't have microphones yet. I just want to move and operate in obedience. I pray that everything that I need, I'll be able to get. If this is something that the Creator wants me to continue in, I will do that. But I'm coming to you now with something that I've been seeing, that we're really caught up in idolatry a lot. This is about idolatry, and it's not the way that you think it. Idolatry for us is nothing like our ancestors. It's nothing like the idolatry in the Bible, because as the Bible said, they worshipped images of sticks and stones that did not breathe and could not talk back. And part of idolatry for us is that some of us worship our jobs, some of us worship our things. But the idolatry I'm talking about today is even worse. It's because we have real, living, breathing idols that we are worshiping. And it is very dangerous. We have to be careful of what we ally ourselves with and what we consider to be an idol or a role model. It's even changed definitions from being a idol to a role model, or somebody that we could look to for a moral compass on how we should behave. And these idols that we're worshiping now, are that people are worshiping now, are pretty dangerous, because they're doing some pretty dangerous things. Now, I know that, we just had a BET Awards show, and that we could even, there's no end of conversations we can have about that. But hopefully hopefully I was thinking that most of us who know what's going on, we're not watching any award show, not just the BET award show, but the Oscars and the Grammys and the SAGs, all these award shows. They're not for us. We should be out from this by now. So I'm not even talking about that level of idolatry. What I'm talking about is more on the lines of people who are worshiping these leaders. And for example, Donald Trump is a full idol. Like, if you're like me and you came up, Donald Trump, when it came to business, he wasn't, of course he's a millionaire, but he was known for his millions and the different ways and schemes that he would get his money, evident by his sneakers and evident by the phones that he has now that aren't quite working to capacity. We've seen him do all of these things. So, but I'm talking about people who would ally themselves with folks and almost turn cultish over what they're saying. And God is saying right is right and wrong is wrong. And we have to remember, especially as Yah's children, especially as Judah, these were the things that we got in trouble for. We can't just go out here and do this stuff. Then we're just making the same mistakes that our ancestors made. So as Judah, as Levites, we can't worship these idols, which is another topic. We're worshiping Levites who haven't really been a part of the fold as they should for a very long time now. They haven't really been teaching the word as they should. And so this is to remind you this is to just remind you that our Abba Abraham was literally born to pull us out of the world of idolatry. That part is not really inside of our King James versions. But like I said, if you have your 1611s or if you have your Apocrypha, then you know, according to the book of Jubilees, that Abraham came to end the idols, and that his father Terah was under the leadership of Nimrod. He was a part of Nimrod's government, and they basically made idols. Is what he did. They made idols, and Terah knew that it was wrong and that it really had no power, but for the people, but for Nimrod, but for the part he played in that system, he made idols anyways. And so a large part of Abraham's, even the story of his birth, was about him being hidden because the seers looked and saw that a child was being born who was going to bring an end to all of their idolatry, all of their pagan ways. He was going to bring an end to things. So that even in itself, when you say that you're a child of Abraham, you must know that Abraham lived, he was born to bring an end to these idols. And even then, the idols that he tore up were sticks and stones. We have real life flesh idols that people are worshiping now. We're watching them, and they're it's even worse because they're breathing and they're moving and they're talking and they're influencing and they're giving us away. Listen, they know that Yah is real. They know that Yahusha is real. But they also know that they have compacts, they have contracts that they have to follow. And they want to get as many as us not paying attention to the real that's going on outside, so that the plan of the enemy can be executed over us, so that we don't have time and that we've wasted time in watching them and worshiping them, that we put our energy into following behind them. And then when Yah comes, in the blink of an eye, you spent all of your time worshiping an idol, and they've already chose their side. They already know. They already know. So for us, we need to be careful of the flesh idols that actually talk and breathe and that influence and that are trying to pull us away from Yah's plan, especially now for what is coming. You have to have a certain level of praise. And when you're listening to and believing these idols, these people, they are taking you away from Yah's plan. They're distractions, and you end up praising them and looking to them. I know that he's our president, but he is not our God. I know that she ran for president, but she is not our God. Obama wasn't your God. Either of the Bushes weren't your God. The Clintons are not your gods. These world leaders are not your gods. Matter of fact, they know that your God is real and he's coming for his people, and they're doing all they can to make sure there are way fewer of us to be here, so that when everything flips, they think they'll have the upper hand. You need to be filled with a certain level of praise, you have to have so much praise that it starts to come out of you. When things start to happen, you just call on the Holy Spirit and you just begin to ask the Holy Spirit's leading guide you. You have to have a certain level of praise that when you walk out of your door, before you breach your door, you pray over your whole entire day, who you're meeting in that day, who you'll be coming across in that day, praying that the roadways are safe. There should be a certain level of prayer that's coming out of you when you're dealing with people, before you go around people. You should, at first you'll probably feel like, am I crazy? I pray like all day. Well, God said that you should be in a continual state of praise, because you need to be in a state of praise for what is happening. The only way you're going to get out of it, Or the only way that you're going to be able to survive what is happening is through a certain level of praise. And if you don't know what that looks like because you haven't been practicing it, when it's time for it, you're not going to be ready. So let's stay vigilant. Let's stay intentional. Let's stay purpose filled because we are destined. We are destiny bound people that have been set apart for Yah's will. And let's call on Him and to begin to praise on Him and not worship idols. Let's not even get into the talk about your phones. These physical idols are dangerous because they talk and they have opinions. But if they don't have a moral compass because they don't believe in the word, their morality is skewed. You have to have a measuring rod. So where are they getting these things from? Where is this coming from that it's okay to not call somebody who had a death threat on their life and say, hey, let's work together to bring the tone down so that the people aren't so polarized. Hey, this is getting dangerous. People are getting shot in the streets. Let's tone this down. There is no moral compass within these people to even do this. And you have to say, what level of morality and these people are we dealing with, if any at all? And when you know that they're immoral, how can you expect them to be changed and not be who they are when they've only been showing you this the whole time? I don't think that this man has ever showed you that he was moral. So if you're believing him and you're following him and you're treating him as if he's a god and then saying that people have derangement syndrome because you don't like him, something is wrong. There is a level of there's a level of deceit going on now that we have never seen before. And so how do you, if you're caught up in this, how do you change things? You change things by going to Yah and putting your praise and trust and faith in Him and not the systems of these worlds, because this thing has to crumble. It has to fall. And we're watching what that looks like. If you ever wondered what it looks like, you're watching what it looks like in real time right now. This is what it looks like when you're in a system and it begins to fall. So if you're held on to these idols and you're believing what they say, you're marching right to your destruction. So let's just be intentional. Let's remember that Yah is who we serve. We have been set apart. And these are the things that led us into captivity. We don't want to stay here. This is the time now. He's coming. And whether you're ready or not, He's going to take that faithful remnant. And that faithful remnant is going to be His and cradle. He will take care of them. He will sustain them through all of this shaking that's about to happen. But if you're worshiping these idols, if you're not building a level of praise, you're setting yourself up for failure. Just a couple thoughts, just things on my mind. Be at peace, and if this is not loud enough, I'm so sorry. I'm really working on getting a microphone. I just want to be, I can't live in disobedience anymore. I've lived in enough disobedience that this and taking a risk at this like this is so much worth it. It's worth you possibly having to put headphones in and plug up to hear what I'm saying than for me to not say it because I don't have what I need to say it. Let's just pray that if this is Yah's intent, that He gives me, He will supply what I need. And that one of these days you're going to cut this on, I'm going to be so loud. It'll be perfect. But praises, all blessings. Enjoy this beautiful day. Love on your family. Be beautiful for your family. Love on your family. Build your ark up Get in your ark. Go get in Goshen and be intentional about all this. Pull away from these idols. Don't follow the ways of the ancestors. Y'all are always talking about your ancestors. You forgot where your ancestors led you. Let's be better than that. Let's learn from the mistakes of our ancestors so that we do grow our lineage, that we do evolve our lineage, that we heal it, that we heal the past, that we heal any areas that in our lines that have been plagued because of curses we brought on ourselves, that they brought on us. Just like saying that we're going to put all of this, oh Caesar, oh no worry, Pilate, put his death on us and our generations to come. We'll put it on our children's. Let's not repeat the mistakes of our ancestors. Walk in the wilderness for 40 years and not even getting in. We can't afford it. Not now. Because Yah is coming. And you not being ready is not going to stop him from not coming. So let's pull out of idolatry. Let's prepare our arks. Know that he is coming, and you have to have a certain level of praise in him, and you can't if you're worshiping idols. So just a few thoughts. Peace, love, prosperity, all praises to Most High Yahweh above all things. Be at peace.